Ladies and gentlemen, I think I might have just found the best classic Sonic game. Someone actually took a lot of time and dedication to turn a what-if scenario into an actual product for a game we all know and love. Well, hopefully most of us. Sonic Triple Trouble. Oops, not that one. Asking, what would it be like if Sonic Triple Trouble had released for the Sega Genesis instead of the Sega Game Gear? So without any more rambling and getting myself into any more trouble, No? Fuck it, I tried. What if Sonic Triple Trouble was good? It's actually one of the few games I forgot about during my classic Sonic retrospective, where I covered most of the Game Gear titles in the second part. And although it was originally a sequel to Sonic Chaos, the game's developer, Noah and Copeland, decided to take a new direction with the game by making it take place right after the events of Sonic 3 and Knuckles. And this can be presented within the main story mode, but we'll get into that a bit later. Last thing to mention is that my actual main playthrough of the game came out a little bit before an update came out for the game, which came with some major enhancements for the game, helping it improve better, and there was also a Dutch sub. Thanks, Luke Station. So as we already stated, the original Triple Trouble took place right after Sonic Chaos, but to make this game stand out a lot more than a bunch of other games, this one took place right after Sonic 3 and Knuckles, and holy f***, that is a godsend of a game. Going into the story, Sonic and Tails continue their journey, still chasing after Robotnik, and this leads to a fight with one final Death Egg robot, and Sonic going super right at the start of the game, which is such a cool concept. After Super Sonic is so close to defeating Eggman, being desperate, Robotnik uses a broken off arm of the Death Egg to grab Sonic when he's least expecting it, basically someone recreating his uselessness just like in Sonic Unleashed, and knocks the emeralds right out of Sonic. And as a safety tactic, the emeralds are teleported away as soon as Robotnik grabs one. However, when switching to Knuckles' perspective, it's found out that he was the one who sent them separately throughout the world for Sonic to collect again. But before we get into the main part of the gameplay, I'd like to have a quick chat about the general enhancements of this remake, and I had to get someone who I think could cover this section quite a bit better than I could.
And that person is me! Don't trust me with things like this for other games, I will screw you over big time. Sonic Triple Trouble 16-bit changes quite a few things from the original Game Gear ROM of '94. I remember playing this game through the Virtual Console on the Nintendo 3DS eShop, may God rest its soul, and thinking about how cool some of the areas were before realizing I was on Tidal Plant Zone and needed to stop while I was ahead. One of the immediate things I noticed playing this remake for the first time was the new elements that help you traverse the stages in entirely new ways, like the fly traps in Great Turquoise, for example. They give new twists to the stages for people who have already experienced the original game, such as myself, and not having them feel like they've seen everything already. Of course, some of the second acts of each stage come with their own unique quirks that give them their own identities separate from the first acts, just like in Sonic Mania and Sonic 3K. You've got more subtle ones like the Great Turquoise Zone going deeper into the jungle and White Robotnik Zone with
the following phrase is redacted due to
"Play the game yourself!"
We greatly apologize and hope you subscribe to Remake 17.
Then there are the bosses, which have heavily increased in size compared to the originals. The layout has also been changed to accommodate for how the bosses work in the Genesis games. Mini bosses have been added to the first act of each zone and normally involve you fighting either Knack the Weasel or Knuckles, and then you fight the mega-sized version of the original boss in Act 2. Triple Trouble 16-bits enhancements are very important for a multitude of reasons. Obviously, they're made to feel like a Genesis Sonic game rather than a cheap fan recreation of the Game Gear title, but they're also important to allowing veterans to experience the same magic as newcomers will. Sure, replaying a higher quality version of Triple Trouble with nothing new is cool, but having something new thrown at you at every corner that you've never seen before, no matter how invested you are in the lore of the Game Gear title, is such a fun feeling to experience. Which is why you should stop watching Remix's video immediately and watch mine instead.
Whoa, we don't self-advertise here. Sonic Triple Trouble 16-bit gameplay-wise is pretty accurate to what the main game originally was. The 6 corresponding zones of Great Turquoise, Sunset Park, Meta Jungleria, Robotnik Winter, Tidal Plant, and Atomic Destroyer all make their grand return with improved visuals from that of the Sega Genesis titles. One of the main new things I love about this game is that it strays away from what the original game was while keeping some of the things pretty intact from what the game actually used to be. One of the main new things about this version of Sonic Triple Trouble is the general enhancements that this game gives out, which we've already had X-Pool talk about, and we get to see many of the cool new improvements just like the special stages. Although being present in the original Triple Trouble, they are revamped in this game, having more of a feel to those of Sonic Time Twisted, Sonic CD, or even Sonic Mania. Basically, for these special stages, you're going to be racing Fang the Sniper to the end of the level, and that's all. And in the case you are to fail, just like Sonic Origins, you're actually able to retry these special stages with using one of your lives. One main gripe I have though is the inability to go super. Obviously within the story mode, Eggman takes one of the emeralds. However, this only leads to you being able to collect only 6 out of the 7 Chaos Emeralds due to the fact that Robotnik has one. We actually do get a true ending near the end of the game, which is completely original, which I love, and I don't want to spoil too much of it, but just know if you love the way Metal Sonic was handled in Sonic Heroes, you're going to love the way he's handled in this game. Now, in the case that you do want to hear what happens, I'm going to go ahead and just give a quick short summary of it. So, spoiler warning if you don't want to get spoiled, but it's been a month now, I think most of you know what's going to happen. So, for this true ending, basically there's versions of these negative Chaos Emeralds, which were made from the original Chaos Emeralds that basically have the same power. So, when we finally reach Robotnik, he's able to knock the 6 that we already have out of us and create 6 more fake emeralds along with the 7th one he's made from the one he originally had. And this leads to Metal Sonic becoming this cool new black form, and this will eventually lead into another Supersonic fight. However, this one really isn't too hard, and with the style of Doomsday Zone or Egg Revere. Now moving forward within the video, we're going to be talking more about the gameplay and how the characters are handled. Starting with the dynamic duo themselves. Sonic and Tails have this very cool feature of being able to be switched in between mid-gameplay. So there are sections where you'll need to play as Tails, and sections where you'll need to play as Sonic. This gimmick is very akin to a very old classic Sonic ROM hack known as Sonic Classic Heroes, where you could switch instantaneously between Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles, and the feature basically works the same here. For the most part, the general style of how Sonic and Tails control is basically akin to Sonic 3 and Knuckles and Sonic Mania. Like I said, this game was very much inspired to see what Sonic Triple Trouble would look like as a Sega Genesis game, and that is exactly what this game is doing. As for Tails, he basically also plays the same, with the best feature for himself, known as the Flight Cancel, making his gameplay in general a lot more fun. Redirecting our attention to Knuckles the Echidna, literally not much has changed gameplay wise. Knuckles is unlocked after completing the story mode one time, and then after that you can unlock more characters after unlocking Knuckles. To play as Knuckles in this game, you actually have to beat the game first, which I think is a really fun concept, because a lot of things kind of get spoiled in his version of the game. You'll see what I mean. So for Knuckles, he's still basically able to glide and climb and do all that, and he's basically ripped right out of Sonic 3 and Knuckles. But there are some cool new things that come for him as well during his gameplay story mode, such as the air necklace making its grand return from Sonic Adventure 2 in a 2D format, which is super cool, and actually I was not expecting this during my first playthrough. This is actually one of the coolest parts of Knuckles' story mode, and you'll actually get to play with it during Title Plant Zone Act 2, which is a completely original stage designed for Knuckles. As well, for most of the level design being mostly the same between Sonic and Tails and Knuckles, there are some parts that were intended and made new and all original just for a Knuckles playthrough of the game. Another cool thing I can mention is how when going through the Knuckles story, we can find out why in a natural run of Sonic and Tails, why Knuckles would attack us. Oh yeah, that's something I forgot to mention. Throughout the original story mode with Sonic and Tails, you'll find out that Knuckles is attacking us, which is a little strange considering we just saved his island and helped him in Sonic 3. So, it turns out that in Knuckles' story, we find out that Metal Sonic attacked him in Angel Island basically right after we restored the island for him. And it turns out that Metal Sonic in the Angel Island zone was able to copy his appearance. I don't know, but it works. The final thing to mention is how the entire Knuckles playthrough is basically how he got captured. So, your grand reward for beating the game? You go to prison. And sadly, since there are no special stages available for this game, Knuckles does not have a super form in this game. Now, for these last two characters, they're not really main story elements, but it's kind of like Sonic Adventure, how you could play as Metal Sonic, just a little fun extra character, and that's basically what these two next characters are. So, to round up the fact that we now have 5 playable characters, we've covered Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, and now Fang the Sniper. Fang basically plays the same with some cool gimmicks that he has to only to his character. So Fang is able to use a regular spin dash along with everyone else, he has a triple jump, and is able to use gun projectiles, which you can actually spam. So yeah, Fang is a little bit overpowered. Now, following up with Metal Sonic, sadly nothing is special about him. He can spin and basically do everything that everyone else can. It's kind of sad. I would think that the main gimmick with Metal Sonic is that he comes along with this excruciatingly slow hover, which does make him invulnerable, but trust me, you don't want to be using this thing often. But yeah, so for our fun characters, one is OP and the other one is bare bones. For the most part though, it's a great way to have some replayability and actually want you to keep playing the game. I think the main takeaway here though is the fact that we finally have some kind of playable version of Fang the Sniper, which I think a lot of Fang fans out there are going to be really happy. Soundtrack wise, it's nothing huge or major, but I think the main takeaway again here is the fact that so many of the original tracks, which aren't too pleasant to listen to on their own actually get some kind of enhancement and sound actually amazing, and they sound like something official. That's the best takeaway from this entire thing. Although I enjoy most of the music that's used in Sonic Triple Trouble 16-bit, I'll go ahead and use Sunset Park as an example, and it's also one of my favorite tracks to show you the amazing transition that the track has from the 8-bit version to the brand new 16-bit version. A lot can be said when it comes to the entirety of Sonic Triple Trouble 16-bit. Now, what do I think? This honestly feels like one of the most original and actually somehow official feeling fan games for the Sonic series, and not many games can have me saying that about it. Sonic Triple Trouble was never popular, the original one at least, by any means, but it's still really cool to see the amount of love and dedication that Noah and Copeland had for this fan game. The general aesthetic, the gameplay, and even just clearly the music says enough about what this game stands for him. And the best part, this game is literally free. You have no excuse not to play it. So I'm gonna do you guys a favor. If you go in the description down below, the first link will be a link right to Sonic Triple Trouble 16-bit. You have to play this game. The only excuse you have is if like your computer can't run it. When my computer was all broken and stuff, I had to play this game on a school laptop and it ran flawlessly. I don't think you guys have an excuse. Look, if you love good Sonic games, you're gonna love Sonic Triple Trouble 16-bit. Hey, welcome to the end of the video. If you enjoyed, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe, as it's always appreciated. Also, I know I didn't directly mention it at the start of the video, but for those of you who are here or care, the reason I was having a lack of uploads was because... Hi, so we are... I guess I am the post-editing production version of myself from before, because that footage is over 2 months old, by the way. I just want to know, I've had this video sitting in Adobe Premiere unedited for such a long amount of time, so... yeah, it's been a minute since I recorded that. It's been a while. So the real reason, or I guess what I was saying a few seconds ago, of why I was gone was because I was lazy. I procrastinated a little too hard, you know, a little bit of a 2 months over upload. It's been 2 months since an upload. Jesus Christ, now you can really tell that this is unscripted. So basically, yeah, I just want to apologize straight up that I haven't been making any videos of any sort or kind. I've been really busy with school. I'm in my senior year of high school. It's not even like I have a lot of classes. I only have 6 classes. I normally have 7. I mean, it's 1 left, but I've been really busy with a lot of stuff personally. But I've decided I want to be better about it. I do love what I do here on YouTube, and I want to be better about it. So again, I apologize for not uploading for over 2 months. I'm gonna be better about it, and hopefully you guys will see me soon. Okay, but that's basically the main gist of stuff. Now I'm holding Ozzy because he got mad that I have food on my desk and he can't have any of it. I'll probably share some though. He's good at manipulating me. But yeah, well, I guess without any more rambling, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope to see you guys soon.